breathtaking, breathtaking experience, you know, and the fact that they really worked. And so anyway, at the same time, I was shuttling back and forth to Japan, and so this beautiful voice. I see you now. It's okay if you want to leave. You know. Anyway, so one of the texts is really important to garden designers for the last 700 years. It is a book called Enlightenment Unfolds. And this is a book written by Dogen, a 13th century Japanese Zen master. And the central question of Enlightenment Unfolds is, are mountains aware? And the question then expands what in nature has awareness, but has nothing. It's just dead to the world. So I was struck with this parallel situation of making the robots, which are a very similar situation of these little proto-life forms, shipped to Mars to look for what? To look for water, to look for life. And so this question, what is aware, from those two worlds, the world of technology and the world of nature, were really on my mind at the time. In this film that we're about to see, it's a short film, 20 minutes, again, with little, almost postcard-like inscriptions. I also have to say one more thing before we watch it, which is I have learned a lot of things about writing from translators. And when they say, what did you really mean by that? Because I have to translate this into Japanese now, and you really need to, you know, it can't be kind of a little bit, which loose part of this English expression do you mean? So, for example, there is a little story that you'll see in this film, and they're little, like I said, just little postcard inscriptions. And it was about this feeling of, you might be familiar with losing something, like you're kind of like, wow, I feel like I lost something, but you don't know what it is, and so you're sort of frisking yourself, like, I feel like I don't know, you don't know whether it was your keys or a wife or, you know, whatever, so you just feel like you lost something. So anyway, I was talking to the translator, and she said, okay, like in this story, what is it that you lost? And I was like, no, that's not the point. It was like I had a feeling of losing something. It wasn't the thing that I lost. And she said, well, when did you lose it? And I was like, I'm being psychoanalyzed by the translator. So I was like, okay, let me think what am I talking about here? Or what am I really, what was I talking? And then I realized that I was writing this little thing when we were just beginning to invade Iraq. And that what I had lost was my country. And that I didn't even know how to really express that feeling of suddenly like this very new way of thinking about this country. So anyway, I had paired it, as you'll see in this film, this little question. The next image is this big image of Mount Fuji. And there is no more iconic image. You might as well put an American flag there, you know, but to say, you know, your country and what it means to you, and what kind of symbol you have derived to, you know, so it was there, but it just, until I had to describe this to a translator, I didn't really know what I was talking about. So assume that I do not know what I'm talking about, and I try to talk in other ways of images and sounds. So this evening we're going to look at this, and then another short beginning of another film, and then there will be two films by Ken Jacobs that Pauline will attempt to interpret, and then hopefully we'll have a little time to Q&A for that. So here's the first one, and it's called Hidden Inside Mountains.